drumingforlife.com.
1, 2, 1, 2. Hey there, thanks so much for joining me. My name is Von Barron and this is drumingforlife.com. So glad you're here. You could have been someplace else, but you're here with me and I really appreciate it. So today I'm going to talk about the single stroke 4 and how you can use that in brushes and connect it to your swing playing. It came from a suggestion from a subscriber and I thought this is a great idea, so I went ahead and made a video for it. So please check it out. Now before I get into that, I want to share a couple of really exciting things. One is that I have a podcast now. It's called Beyond Drum Beats Podcast, and the entire focus of it is about helping you develop your sound and your voice on the drums and connecting that sound to the music you want to play and to the musicians you play with, because that's how you're going to get more gigs. No doubt about it. There's a lot of information out there on the internet about the mechanics of playing drums, and even here on drumingforlife.com. But I found that what's missing is how you connect those mechanics to the music. So that's what we're really going to be focusing on in the podcast. I'll also be doing more on that here at drumingforlife.com. Now, the second thing I want to share with you is I've started a new series of backing tracks for drummers. And the volume 1 is up on my website, vonbaronmusic.com, and the drumingforlife.com store page. And what it is the first one is volume 1. It's all about swing. So it's varying tempos of swing. And there are 8 different breakouts for each song. And in fact, the intro song that I played along with is called Moonlight Swing. That is included in that backing track set. There are 8 different tracks, and some of them are me playing drums, playing brushes, playing sticks. And then there are a lot of opportunities for you to play by yourself with various combinations. So you have bass. You can play with just bass alone. You play bass and piano, like it's a trio situation. And I also have a couple of tracks in there of just me playing with no other instruments, so that you can hear the detail of what I'm playing on the drums with both brushes and sticks. I think you're going to find it very helpful for 3 things. One is I think it's going to help you a lot with your comping. Comping is short for accompanying. In jazz, it means the rhythmic patterns we play on the drum set to accompany the other instrumentalists in the band. And I'm going to have a future lesson about that here on drumingforlife.com. Now, the other 2 things are your time and your feel. You can work on those because you're going to be playing with real musicians. This is not digitized or MIDI sounding music. This is real jazz, real music, and you're going to really have a great time playing along with it, I know. So please go check it out. I'm going to put the links to the podcasts, which are all on Apple Podcast, Spotify Podcast, and Google Podcast. I'll put those links below, and I'll also put the link to the backing tracks on my website below. So please go check them all out and subscribe to the podcast, because I know it's going to really help you in tandem with drumingforlife.com. Okay? Now let's go ahead and get into our single stroke 4. The single stroke 4 is also called, it's a drum rudiment. It's also called the 4-stroke rough, the 4-stroke drag. But basically, it's a single stroke kind of rudiment, and it goes like this. It's very, very simple, actually. It's only 4 strokes. It's left, right, or right, left, left. Now notice the first 3 notes are very quiet. The last note is accented. That's very important. You don't want it to sound like this, because you're really going for finesse and you're going for smoothness in your sound. So you really want that kind of sound. Now, I will tell you this. I use left-hand lead almost exclusively. I don't really do much right-hand lead when I'm playing. Now, if you are a lefty on the drums, you're probably going to find that the right-hand lead is more advantageous. So you don't really need to worry so much about practicing both ways and getting both equal. If you want to do that, that's fine. But in the real world of drumming, I found you kind of settle on one and you roll with that, and that's okay. Now, to understand the rudiment more clearly, this last note of the rudiment is actually the downbeat. So 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. All right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Now 1, 2, 3, 4. Now what I also found is that I usually use it on counts leading into counts 2 and counts 4. And the reason for that is because jazz is heavy on 2 and 4. It's not heavy on 1 and 3. So rock music, for instance, is heavy on 1 and 3, but the jazz is 2 and 4. So leading into the 2 and 4 keeps the continuity of the groove moving forward and makes the music swing more. For instance, if I play it on 2 and 4, you'll hear this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? If I play it on 1 and 3, 1, 3, 1, 3. It almost sounds like it's starting and stopping, starting and stopping, starting and stopping. So you don't want that to happen. You want to keep it on the 2 and 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right? So that's just a very important point. Now, you can play it on 1, 2, 3. Like sometimes I do it as a fill, which is kind of nice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, something like that. It's kind of cool, you know. But in general, you're going to lead into that 2, counts 2, and counts 4. Okay, now let's start with the best way to really understand how to use it into your jazz playing with brushes is to learn a new pattern I want to teach you today. And this is the quarter note pattern. It's very simple. It's like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. All I'm doing is marking time, just like marching band. Really swings hard. In jazz, that quarter note thing, every style of music, quarter note's important, but in jazz especially, that quarter note is important. When I was at Berkeley, I had a great teacher named Joe Hunt, and for one semester, a whole semester, I'd go in, and every week we would just play quarter notes on the ride cymbal until I got it, until I understood how to feel it, until I really, really was clear about, oh, this is how jazz is supposed to sound. Okay, so what I want you to do is focus in on that quarter note. That's quarter note is king. Okay, got to get that happening. Okay, now what am I doing? Well, I'll break it down for you. This hand, the right hand, is just basically going like this, just marking time. I'm turning the brush to the side and just bringing it down nice and smooth. Real soft sound. This is not, we're not pounding this out on the drums. The other thing I want to share is that jazz is a finesse drumming music. It's not a muscle it out kind of music. If you muscle it out in jazz, your playing is going to sound like it. It's going to sound contrived. It's going to sound heavy. It's not going to sound the way it needs to sound, which is light and airy and melodic and musical. Okay, it's a totally different bag. So you really want to focus on, especially with brushes, you want to focus on getting that kind of nice, soft sound. It doesn't take a lot to mark that time and make it swing. Okay, that's all I'm doing. Is just going like this. The left hand is playing little circles. 1, 2, 2 and 4 are right here. Don't. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Notice I'm playing on the bottom half of the drum head. Now, if you go and you check out the swing patterns I teach in video lessons number 4 and number 5, you're going to see that I have a couple of patterns. One is a big circular pattern like this. Okay. And that's a cool pattern, and you want to play that. But when I'm working on integrating a single stroke 4, if I'm playing all this, it's too much real estate. I need just this little area here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, like that. That's all I need to make that work. So let's talk about how you get that single stroke 4 in there. So I've got this circular pattern, just a small circular pattern, which is like the big one, but I'm just doing a small version of it. And I'm keeping this hand down here rather than going up here and playing like this. I'm just marking time here, playing quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. So how am I going to get it in there? About right here, I'm going to lift up my brush and start that single stroke 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. See how I'm doing that? Okay, that's how you work it into your quarter note pattern. And I found that this is the best way to start. So if you want to just kind of learn how to get it into your swing playing, start with your quarter note brush pattern. One, two, three, four, okay, so that's how you get it in there. Now, if you want to add it in to, there are 2 patterns I taught in those lessons, number 4 and number 5, video lessons on brushes. And one was a big circular pattern. It looks like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. But it's almost too much to get that hand around there to get that pattern, insert that single stroke 4. So I found that I don't really use the big pattern if I'm going to add in that single stroke 4. I bring it down here. Keep it nice and tight. It's much easier. So economy of motion. Now you can also do the side-to-side pattern I teach. 2, 3, 4, 1. That works pretty nice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 2. And whatever you want. The goal here is to have as little hiccup, as little kind of space in your sound as possible. So you want to try to keep the brush moving as you're inserting that single stroke 4. Now, I also want to say something about traditional grip. If you play with matched grip on brushes, that's fine. I do traditional grip because I think there are more things that you can do visually and also drumistically that I like. And I played with traditional grip from the time I first learned how to play brushes. So it's most comfortable for me. But if matched grip works for you, go ahead and go with matched grip. So anyway, so we're again side to side. Now let's talk about how I use, instead of doing a quarter note pattern, because you might have noticed I'm using a different pattern here, right? My right hand is playing the spangling. Bum, 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 with that heavy accent on 2 and 4. Not heavy like this, but heavy, just a bigger accent, okay? And this is just really cool. When you're playing this pattern, okay? 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. When you play your single stroke 4, the last note of that single stroke 4 is the 2 or the 4 of your spangling, of your jazz pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, like that. Okay? You can also do it down here. This I find is kind of the easiest. Also good to practice with a hi-hat if you can, because that'll help you kind of keep consistent time. Or you can get the backing tracks, and that'll also help you. So I hope that helps you. I hope you can use that in your playing, and go ahead and practice that. Remember to practice it slow so you can learn it fast. Don't practice it too fast in the beginning, or you're going to practice what you don't want to learn. Okay? So thanks again for tuning in. I hope you have a great day. And as always, keep on drumming. Thanks so much. Drumming for Life.